Oh, we got some nice ice going on here.
Hey guys, Doc. So just about everyone on the East Coast is going to be sub-zero. Here in Georgia, we're going to get down to 15 degrees on the farm property. I'm going to do a few reminders for you guys, tips on preventing freeze and pipe bursts and problems, but then I'm also going to show you how to insulate a well. A lot of people have these wells. Sometimes they have a cement around it, but you need to insulate your well in the wintertime, unfortunately. Otherwise, you won't have water and you'll have a problem. So I'm going to run through a bunch of stuff. Here we go. While I'm out here, look at this. Look at this annual ryegrass. Isn't that crazy? Now, we haven't cut that in almost 2 weeks, I think. So it's probably 5-6 inches tall, but it looks phenomenal. 21 degrees this morning. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure that your settings is to all, because we've got potentially 3 new products coming out for the 2024 lawn care. The laboratory at Anderson's has been working on these 3 products. I'll do videos on them, but we're still locking everything down. Let me show you the backyard. I mean, this is crazy. This is perennial rye back here. Had ice on it this morning, of course. Fat Jack Russell wants to go over to the cabin. I got my sunscreen on because I'll probably be in the sun all day. But look at this. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's 2.5, 3 inches tall, that perennial rye, and it feels like a carpet. That is just crazy, man. Got a bunch of starlings and I got wind that I have to deal with. So hopefully this comes out okay. So let's go over a few quick tips for you. Number 1, if you have spigots on the outside of your house, spigots. I always say spigots, but it's spigots. If you have spigots on the outside of your house, you can get those little foam cups that you put on them. That helps a little bit. It traps some of that heat and keeps a direct cold. But on the majority of newer houses, I want to say 15, 20 years and newer, not all of them, look at that spigot on the outside of your house and then figure out where it is on the inside of your house. It's usually, you can go to your bathroom, you can go to your kitchen. There's going to be a cabinet usually there. And if you open that up, there's going to be another shut-off valve that shuts off that spigot outside. It's not always the case, but usually in the past 15 years, they've been doing that. So what you do is you go in, say, okay, that one, I know that spigot's near my bathroom, open it up, and sure enough, you'll see a valve there. Shut that valve off, go back outside, open up that spigot, let the water drain out, you're good to go. That's where most of the problems come in. Good example is my daughter last winter, she was up feeding our grandson at 3 in the morning, and guess what? Pow! Their basement started to flood, and it was because of that, because a spigot, copper pipe they had, it's an older house, copper pipe going outside, froze and blew up, and it was flooding a finished basement down there. That's number 1. Number 2, open up cabinet doors. So if you have piping, especially if you don't have a shut-off valve, open up those cabinets. Your kitchen sink, bathroom cabinets, anything that's an exterior wall, you want to go ahead and you want to open that cabinet up all night long so the heat can get into there. And tell everyone in your house, because they're going to come behind you and shut them, say, I'm opening these cabinets for a reason, so make sure you leave them open. That'll allow some of that airflow to get in there. So we're going to shut off our spigots if we can. We're going to put a cover on it, and then we're going to open up those cabinet doors. That's probably the major thing, because that's where most of your problem comes in. Now I'm going to talk about pipe insulation. You know that little gray pipe insulation that they sell? That doesn't do a whole bunch. Matter of fact, you're probably better. I've actually ordered some pool noodles. You know those big thick pool noodles that have a hole in the middle? You can still get them on Amazon. I just ordered a box of them. That's a closed cell foam product, but it's 4 times the diameter of the pipe insulation, the crappy pipe insulation that they sell. So that's a good way to protect exterior pipes that don't have any protection. In a minute though, I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you over to the cabin and I'm going to show you that you're still not really adding any warmth to it. So I'm going to show you how to use, if you have outside exposed pipes, how to use mulch and how to use a special type of insulation to actually build up some insulation and capture the thermal properties of the earth and bring that up. Then what I'm going to do is, if you have a well pump, I'm going to take you over, I'm going to show you how I insulate my well pump, my shallow well pump. Then I'm going to show you my insulation on my deep well pump, that little shed we have. Now let's talk about running water. I got a shade across my face. I guess that's a good thing. go to the farthest pipe that you have typically in your house. You can just do one or you can do all of them. But what you want to do is you want to open that faucet. You're going to see it start to drip. As soon as that drip becomes a tiny little stream, what they say is the width of a lead pencil. You know that lead, that little teeny, the smallest stream you can make. Let that water stream all night. If you're going to have extreme cold, let's say you're going to get down to -20 or something, let that water just stream overnight. Typically a drip, drip, drip is not going to be enough. You just want that tiny little stream. That's all you want to do. Just let that tiny little stream. You can do that whether you have city water or whether you have well water. Yes, your well pump will probably cycle a couple times during the night because you're going to drain that pressure tank down, but at least you won't have frozen pipes. But you got to have that tiny little water thing running. The drip, drip, drip is just not going to do it. Let me walk over here real quick and let me show you this wool product. I had them drop off some stuff because I'm going to work on the inside of that cabin. I got to do the chandelier. I got a few other things, but this is called rock wool, and it's an R15 batting. And I don't think I have a razor blade on me, otherwise I'd open it up. But it's fire resistant, it's water repellent, and it's 24, and it's an R15, and it has no fiberglass in it. I think it's a wool product, to be honest. I'm really not sure what's inside of it. Let me see. Stone wool insulation. Stone fibers may cause temporary mechanical irritation, nose, throat, blah, blah, blah. So it's unlike fiberglass, which, man, I hate fiberglass insulation. This stuff has much less irritation. Open this up. I'll show you what this stuff looks like. So that, my friends, that's proper insulation right there. That is, what, almost 4 inches thick? Okay, so this is my shallow well. I have a foam board that actually sits on top of this, and then I was using this old sleeping bag that we had. I've got one up there too, but I'm going to take this out and I'm going to use this insulation and put insulation around it. Again, the same thing. We left this open to the ground and we built this little shack, but there's a lot of air holes in here and stuff, so I want to go ahead and surround this with this insulation. That's what I'm going to do next. Again, because this rips nice and easy, I can shove it in little spaces. Some of my irrigation pipe is up against those back walls, so I can just take this and sort of work this in as I need it. Just take little pieces. Here's a really good example, like on this area where I have this hose running through. I just kept ripping it and pushing it down, ripping it, pushing it down, and filling all this outside surroundings. Okay, so this is not going to look pretty, but I have gone and I have pushed insulation all around any exposed pipe up against that wall. I've created this sort of round sort of funnel to keep that ground heat up, and all I'm going to do is just cover this up now, and that's about it. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my board over it. That's all in water. No way, that will. It's free. No way. I don't care how cold it is. A lot of people don't understand that what I'm trying to do, and what you should try and do, is the earth is going to stay warm. The earth is going to stay 10 to 20 degrees warmer than the outside, and that heat is going to rise up slowly. So if you can contain and capture that heat from the earth, that's what you're trying to do. So just putting a piece of gray foam on here is not capturing anything. It's not going to work. It's not going to keep your pipes from freezing. I've got a bunch of mulch, wood chips all around here, and then I'm just going to wrap this. So nothing against my plumbers, but this is how the plumbers basically insulated. See that right there? And then look at that. Can you see that blue pipe? Well, that's not insulated. It's just not going to do anything. This is just not going to prevent a freeze. This stuff does rip kind of easy because it's not backed, I will warn you. So I'm trying to just work it in and create. So one of the bad things about this product and one of the good things about this product is that it tears apart. So you don't have to sit here and cut it like fiberglass with a backing on it. See what it looks like? Isn't that cool looking? But what you can do is just tear it. You can tear it into pieces. So if you need to shove it into some place, you just keep tearing off pieces and tearing off pieces until you get what you need. And then go up under. And go up under and start filling in any gaps you got. Oh, this is not gonna end well. The old fat guy under a root under here is not a good idea. So if you want to come back with, say, a plastic tarp, put a tarp around this, take a large trash bag, wrap a large trash bag around this, but versus a little teeny gray tube, that ain't gonna freeze, period, I guarantee. So while I'm here, let me go ahead and show you how we insulated our pump house. Now Ryan and I, we built this pump house ourselves, and here's what I did for it. Number one, the bottom of the pump house floor, using the earth's thermo heat that comes up naturally. The ground temperature is 50 degrees and it will gently rise up. That's why at 21 degrees I can walk across here and it's still muddy. We don't get that permafrost. We don't get that frozen ground too bad here. There's no floor right around this main my main pressure tank. I even keep a little sleeping bag on it to sort of hold it in. So there's the main, and then it comes up, and then this is my filtration system. And what we did was we spray foamed all these back walls. These are all spray foamed. And then we put up this insulation board. Now I probably need to come and I probably need to tape these cracks or fill these cracks as well too, but I'll tell you what, this pump house at 21 degrees, I can walk in here and it's a good 45 degrees. I told you I'd sort of just keep you updated what's going on. I'm still working on window trim, but John's coming over tomorrow and we're gonna pull this ram board off the floor, which is that hard paper, because we've got a ton of this drywall dust down. So I'm gonna have him clean up in here, and then I'm gonna have him, unfortunately, some of this boarding didn't get covered up, so we're gonna have to sand it and vacuum it. I'm gonna hook a vacuum up to that sander, and I've already tested one spot, it comes up fine. We just gotta do a lot of sanding and vacuuming. We're gonna sand this whole floor, then I'm gonna stain it with the same stain that's on the outside. It's gonna be pretty dark. What else? I finished out this other window yesterday. I still got the other ones to do. I do have, by the way, I have Google Wi-Fi. I have these little pods, and that pod ties into the house, and I have over 100 megabyte Wi-Fi here. So that's great. 100 up and 100 megabytes down, and it's like 11 or 12 megs up. So it's really good Wi-Fi out here. Someone was asking about HDMI cables. We don't use HDMI anymore. We're all Wi-Fi based. I use Google TV and all Wi-Fi. So chandelier, I got that hung. I need to get, I'm not into a stud on that secondary hook, so I need to get some kind of anchor up in there. But let me turn these lights on for you. The can lights, I cut them in. They put the can lights in. Ceiling fan is in. Yesterday, or not yesterday, or day before yesterday, I showed you guys all these beams that I'm putting up. Now these are from the Tobacco Barn from 1797. They're gorgeous. We're going to run a beam all the way down here in the ceiling and all the way down here in the ceiling, and maybe 2 or 3 across. And you can see on this one, I left the notches facing out. Isn't that cool? These are just the coolest beams. I mean, that's exactly the way they came out of the Tobacco Barn in Virginia. I've got this barn door. I just need to get the anti-sway on the bottom. That's all done. The vanity's in, the light fixture's in. I need to get a mirror over here. Toilet's in. We're gonna get some antique hutches, antique furniture in here. But we carry these beams into here too. Next on the shower, that's all done. I actually trimmed it with 1x4 and I'll paint that. Again, I'm not worried about the wood rotting because someone's only going to use this shower 3 times a year or something, you know, but it's just nice. I got to build a door for this water heater closet that we'll put shelves in. Then I came up with a good idea, I think. In my wife's closet, I went to Lowe's and I found these black shelf hooks that actually have a clothing bar on it. So what I'm going to do is up here, I'm going to run a shelf above head level, and I'm going to put wood and I'm going to stain it, and then it'll actually have a clothing rack under it. So if someone ever came, like my brother came and wanted to hunt and stay out here, they could actually hang clothes on here if they wanted to. But I may even put something down here too. This unit is going to have something very important to do with our solar system. So I want you guys to hit that subscribe button because my solar project has taken a major turn. And I think you guys will learn from it because I've been dealing with 2 solar companies, good solar companies, to do full solar out the house. And let me tell you what, it's taken a major turn as far as what I'm going to do. So don't miss it. Hit subscribe. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. So last week I was dealing with thunderstorms and high winds, praying we didn't lose more trees. This week coming up, we're going to get down freezing temperatures below 15 degrees or below. You guys maybe even sub-zero. It's going to be some really harsh winter weather. So just be careful. There's tons of things to worry about on this farm property. I'm always thinking, I'm trying to stay 2 steps ahead and it never works. Today is the last day of deer season. I went out this morning and saw a bunch of the young ones out running around. I'm trying to put 1 more deer in the freezer. We'll see. I may go out tonight and see if I can maybe just take a young buck or something. But anyways, guys, hit subscribe and I'll talk to you later. Doc.